Hello and welcome back to another episode of Politically Black with Dr. Zachary Kirk, the Zactivist. And today we are interviewing Dr. Heavenly Kimes. Now, you may know her from Married to Medicine, a reality TV star and a local entrepreneur, a expert dentist, but she is now a candidate and really one of the front-runner candidates for the United States Congress, the United States House of Representatives, Congressional District 13. Dr. Heavenly, welcome to Politically Black.
Thank you for having me, Zach. Thank you.
It is an honor. I'm so glad that you're making time in such a busy schedule. And that's where we can start this off right now. You are running around, getting ready for a new season of Married to Medicine to premiere. You are handling and running your medical practice, and now you are running for Congress. For the people out there that are questioning, how in the world can you balance it all? Tell us, how can you balance it all?
The same questions. Listen, I always say I'm every woman, but I can't be every woman all the time, okay? So when I first started my practices, I started in Clayton County, actually, Heavenly Dental Associates. I actually sold those practices at 45 to semi-retire. So I worked 2.5 days in the dental practice. Married to Medicine works around my schedule. They only film 12 weeks. And the political thing, God put it on my heart. I've been called to do this, so I don't have a choice.
When you say that you've been called to do this, what exactly do you mean? Like, how did this call happen and what made you answer it?
Interesting enough, I've told this story before, but I was getting an award downtown at the Capitol building, right? I do public service all the time, give bags, turkey drives. In my beauty supply store, we give toys and all that kind of thing. So they would give me an award. And when I went down to the Capitol building, there was a lot of people there. And they say, Heavenly, why don't you run for state rep? Never thought about it before. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm on reality TV. I do this and that and other. They said, well, why don't you call this person that person? I talked to them and they say, Heavenly, your community really needs you. Because I'm still in Rockdale County. A lot of people moved out to Buckhead, Milton, all of that, Roswell, all of that. And I'm still in Rockdale County, which we have a lot of affluent people, but we have a lot of people that need help as well. When I looked at the situation, at first I said, hell no. Then I was like, well, God, I don't know why you calling me to do this, but okay. Now I'm like, thank you, God, for trusting me with this assignment. Initially, state rep, did my launch, got millions and millions of hits. A lot of people came at me, including God, asking me, hey, your platform is too big for this. We need you in Congress. If you already know that there's 435 members of Congress. In the state of Georgia, there's 14. 9 of them are Republican, 5 of them are Democrat. But if we can flip seats, it'll be 8 and 6 and 7 and 7. So once I win, when I win in May, I will continue to campaign and help other people flip seats in the state of Georgia.
And that's really important. And so it seems as though you are going into this with a plan. And a plan that's bigger than just you and bigger than just District 13, but that you plan to cascade around the state and around the Democratic Party to increase representation as we're going into what could be one of the most difficult political climates of our Black lives. And I say that in the fact that the Supreme Court of the United States is currently hearing the case of Louisiana versus, I want to say it's Calais, I think that's how you pronounce it, that seeks to gut the last provision of the 1965 Voting Rights Act and remove the provision that ensures that race is considered in representation and not racially gerrymandered to hurt Black and brown people in the South. The only chance that we have, or only hope that we will have as a people who want fair representation post-June when that decision comes out, if they gut it, would be the passing of laws like the John Lewis Voting Rights Act from the next round of Congress. So it's essential that, one, Democrats retake the House and that Democrats retake the Senate, although that seems like a long shot. So having people there that are willing to work across the board and across their states to ensure representation is really, really important.
Absolutely.
When you talk about that, we're talking about how mainstream Democrats have responded to your candidacy, especially considering the fact that you're going against a establishment Democrat who's been in position for a long time. How has the Democratic Party worked with you, embraced you, and supported you, if all?
I have had tremendous support because there's an incumbent there that's been in politics for over 50 years, has been in his seat almost 21 years. A lot of people don't publicly endorse me, but behind the scenes, they helping me a whole lot. I could not have asked for more support. So
that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there
They
who
know
constantly attack the Democratic Party
Mm-hmm.
for not embracing fresh, young candidates.
Mm-hmm.
And so to hear you say that, it really makes me feel good. And I'm really happy that we can share that with my audience.
Now, don't get me wrong. There is an old guard there that is protecting certain seats there. And I had to have a conversation with some of the congressmen. And I asked them, I said, what are you doing? They said, well, if you were a dentist and somebody was your colleague, would you go against that dentist and go with someone else? And I was very clear to them. I want my patients to have the best. I don't want to have somebody that's not showing up, not showing out, and not doing the things that you should do as a congressperson. Do you care about your people, or do you care about the people that are in office? You got to make a choice.
You have to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, one thing that, when you look at lived experiences and when you look at all the things that have brought you to this point, what piece of experience do you feel gives you the greatest qualification to move into the United States Congress?
Absolutely. I feel like my steps are ordered. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified. I've ran payroll. They give you a budget. You have to expand that budget and make it work, right? They give you millions and millions of dollars to work. I've hired people. I've done the payroll. I like to say I'm uniquely qualified because not only have I run multi-million-dollar businesses and 9 dental practices and as such, I have a real estate license it's expired. Real estate, Series 65. I've owned a mortgage company. So I understand business in real estate and in entrepreneurship. I think we need somebody like me, not just a person that has a doctorate degree from the classroom, but taking the classroom to careers and helping people. And my platform, if you will always be the economy, healthcare got to be, and education. And they all go in together.
The economy, healthcare, and education are the 3 focal areas that you are going to address heavily in this campaign, but then when you make it to Congress. When you talk about the economy, what is the greatest concern that you currently have about our current economic state, and how would you address that as a member of Congress?
Easy. The businesses are the heartbeat of the community, right? A lot of times businesses have a lot of red tape that they have to go through. I know that better than anyone runs several businesses. And not only that, it's not ever a incentive to hire people within the community. So how I would handle that is I would give tax breaks to people that hire people in the community, cut the red tape, get with the SBA and see how our people can get loans easily without the red tape. Because you need enough money to suffice for at least 5 years in any business. Any business person knows that. So if we can get the money, Black women are already leading in education and entrepreneurship, right? But yet we get a very small percentage of those SBA loans. We already winning without them. Imagine if we had the opportunity. We would run things. And in Congress, I would have the opportunity to help with that and actually fight for federal funding for SBA loans and getting federal grants for the people in small businesses.
I love that you referenced our Black women who are the backbone of the Black community, have always been the backbone of the Black community. But we're currently seeing them under full-fledged assault by the Trump administration and their policies to end diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're literally seeing over 300,000 Black women who have lost jobs since Donald Trump took office. We're seeing the actual complete dissolvement of small business grants and priority grants being given to Black entrepreneurs. What are some things that we can do locally to help fill the gap that's been left behind by what the Trump administration has done and making an effort to mitigate some of that harm?
Absolutely. You know what? I love what Jamal Bryant does as far as talking about, I went to school for a very long time. I graduated with honors from for high school, got a full scholarship, ROTC, right? So I was able to pay for college debt. But going to medical school, going to dental school with me and my husband, we came out with a whole bunch of student loans, over $250,000. And that was 20-something years ago. Right now, together, we would be more in debt, probably $1 million, right? I think that a 4-year education is important and being a doctor, but that's not the only pathway to success. I think that we need to invest more in our technical schools, our apprenticeships, our HVAC programs, plumbing, that kind of thing, not only to be leaders in those positions, but have ownership. I'm going back to your question. We need to have ownership in businesses.
And that's one way that we can build up in our local communities so that our our communities are stronger and our people are stronger.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about healthcare, that is one of the biggest issues right now. By the time this will air, let's pray that the government will have reopened, but it's possible that it will not. Yeah, I just learned today that the Trump administration and Republican leadership are not going to allow states to disperse SNAP funds and Medicaid, I think it's Medicaid funds, in the month of November if the government remains shut down, which would be catastrophic. That means that families won't be able to support and celebrate Thanksgiving because they won't have the food they need to do that. Maximum cruelty. And the reason why Democrats are fighting to keep to change the current CR is so that healthcare and provisions in the ACA are provided for the American people. As someone in the healthcare field, do you think that's the right thing? Or is there any other way that we could have made this work without pushing for this holdout?
Now, interesting enough, healthcare is a big thing on the platform. I know you know better than anyone. Without healthcare and Medicaid and Medicare, people will die. You know that over 2.2 million people are on Medicaid right here now in the state of Georgia. Not just us, but mostly the people that are Republican. I don't know if they know that. But
I don't think they know that. I don't think they get it. I also don't think they understand. I don't think a lot of Republicans who benefit from the Affordable Care Act, what they call Obamacare, I don't think they even know that because states renamed, it has different names in different states. I don't think they get that. I also don't think they understand that they get SNAP benefits that are about to be cut too, because a lot of people who are Republicans are also benefiting from those programs.
You know, interesting enough, that is so true. And it's unfortunate that people don't realize, but you say FAFO. My whole thing is this, they gonna find out really, really quickly. But my concern is the people in District 13, my district, right? A lot of people, and I've actually visited physicians, dentists alike, attorneys alike, and a lot of people don't understand on that Georgia Pathway website where you go to apply for Medicaid, it is so convoluted and so tedious that you don't even know how to get through it. I have one friend that's an attorney and her son is autistic. And she says that she had to pay somebody thousands of dollars to walk her through that system. The Georgia Pathway system is designed, I think, on purpose to make it very difficult to navigate that system. If you know the big, beautiful bill is here to stay, it's already been passed. That's what it is, right? But if you go in that pathway system, you know that people have to work 80 hours a month, right? Not only that, they actually have to put in their timesheets every month, or they have to have a certain number of hours in school or do community service, right? We're going to have to go back to old school until we can fix this, right? We have to become an ecosystem where we can help people out. That's why right now I'm opening a Medicaid office in my district, right? Not just to see Medicaid, but to actually have programs and things where we can actually see patients for free. How I'm able to do that. I know that no interest is like self-interest, right? My doctor friends, I know damn near all of the dentists in my district. They will come out if I support them. I have a platform. I have the resources and the reach and the fortitude to promote their businesses, right? So if I can do that for them and they come out and do palliative treatment, meaning getting them out of pain, extractions, things like that, and preventative measures, we can help people. But not only that, when I open a practice also, I'm going to have a place in the back because I've learned that by talking to my constituents is that some people don't have a computer. Some people don't have a fax machine to put this stuff in. And some people in my district can't read, right? But if we get community service, maybe we can sign on, get a community service for other people to help these people walk them through. We got to come up with a plan. And we have to be our own ecosystem until we get some restitution in the government, you know?
I think that's one, kudos to you for bringing that together and using your platform resources to leverage healthcare providers to do that. And the whole network. Right? And I think that's really admirable and it's really needed, not just in District 13, but really kind of across this state. And so hopefully, you know, your colleagues and people who are watching are going to take this model and let it cascade out. When you talk about then education and hitting on the fact that you have constituents who aren't even able to read, you know, how would you address that need at the third pillar of your platform as a member of Congress?
Education is needed. I think that, like you say, you have to come up with a common sense approach. A lot of people out there making noise saying what's wrong, but they're not actually coming out with solutions, right? There are a lot of colleges and community colleges and universities throughout our district and outside our district. We got Spelman, we got Georgia State, we also have Clayton College in our district, right? We need to partner up with them because they need, we can do programs where we can actually get the students to come out and volunteer and get college credits to educate the people, not only just come out and tutor them, but actually show them how to do certain things so we can continue to have education. Education is always going to be important, and that's one thing that they're trying to take away from us. The HBCUs are under attack. I would not be here without an HBCU. I went to Meharry Medical College where we learned to serve the underserved, and I take that to heart. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. If you look at what I'm doing with Congress and what I'm doing with politics, it doesn't make sense for Dr. Heavenly to do it, right? But I'm stepping up, I'm stepping out in order to, like you said, create a blueprint so other people can follow. And I'm guaranteeing like-minded individuals will follow me, step up and step out. And I'll be the motivation for that.
So, and that's, that's the point. That's the point. And that's kind of echoing out, a servant's heart. Going back to your commitments, you talked about all the things that you created. Let's talk about your family.
Yes.
Is Daddy going to let you run for Congress?
It was Daddy's idea. Let me tell you something about my husband. My husband is on 1,000 support of me, even with reality TV. I would not be here in reality TV. My husband is a stand-back guy. He's very conservative. He's quiet. He's very methodical. He's very educated. He's actually the most educated man I ever met. He's actually board certified and board in 3 different specialties: emergency medicine, family medicine, and in addiction medicine. He's board qualified for pain, interventional pain. So he's one of the most educated men in thought process. And when initially I was asked to do Married to Medicine, long story short, a lot of people told me not to do it, right? And I was thinking, I got 9 practices. I have multi-million-dollar business here. Why would I do Married to Medicine on reality TV? Because all I knew was Nene Leakes. I knew nothing else about reality TV. Dang show didn't watch it. Long story short, I asked my husband, what did he think? He sat back, he thought about it the way he does. He said, Heavenly, you'll be great at that. You got tough skin, you got a quick mouth, you know how to do it. He said, Heavenly, those people that are telling you not to do it, they're going to be looking at you and asking you for favors. Do it. I'll stand behind you. I don't want to be a part of it, but I'll be with you every step of the way. Just like with politics. When people ask me, when I was called to do this and run for Congress, I was like, Daddy, what you want me to do? Because I'm I get flack for it, but I am submissive in a certain way. Not always submissive, I got a mouth, but submissive in a certain way. And I was like, Daddy, what you want me to do? Because if he told me I couldn't do it, I wouldn't have done it, right? We prayed about it. We meditated together, and he woke up at 4:30 in the morning. He said, baby, we got to do this. We don't have a choice. And I was praying and meditating. I said, God, thank you for giving me that confirmation. So my answer to your question is I don't have a choice. I've surrendered my life to God, and we have to do this, and we have to make a change.
When the call comes, you have to answer the call.
God is pulling people from unexpected places. I could get biblical with you and tell you Moses used to stutter. I could get biblical with you and say David was not the ideal choice. Dr. Heavenly is not the ideal choice. But honestly, when you're called, God put things in place.
Yeah, you may not be the ideal choice, but you're the choice.
I am the choice.
You're the choice.
I am the choice.
The call has come.
And qualified.
So that's good. So, the life of a United States Congresswoman is very tough, very demanding.
Yes.
But from a family perspective, they're on board, they're ready to support you, and they're ready to be there.
Right. My kids grown. My kids are grown. My youngest baby just turned 20. So, I've been out of that stake of the little kids and stuff like that. They understand what it is. They're in full support. My baby boy, he's in dental school right now, ready to take over my practice when I start. So I got, a plan in place. And my kids are here. They're for me, and they're excited.
So Dr. Heavenly, and how have the Bravo team embraced this? What are their thoughts? Because the reality is they may lose one of their brightest stars.
That's interesting that you say that, because to this day, I don't know if I'm a friend of the show. I don't know if I'm full cast or not from what I see. Because I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When I first announced that I was running for state rep, they said that I couldn't do it. It was in my contract. I had never seen this before. Maybe it was an addendum that you cannot run for a state office. You can't run for, a position. When God tells me to do something, I don't have no choice, And in the right mind, I'm just saying business mind, I'm not talking about Bravo or anything else, you would think that you get this for that. They don't pay any money, and Bravo paying me this. So in your right mind, you would think that Heavenly would never give up this for that, right? But they didn't understand my God and how I was thinking, right? So can I say this? I called my boy Carlos. King.
Right.
I said, King, what should I do? Long story short.
Who just had a birthday.
Happy birthday
to Carlos King and the Libra family. All the Libras out there.
Carlos make me think I'm the best thing since sliced bread. He said, Heavenly, what they gonna do? So my whole thing is this. I put a lot on the line. I actually stepped up, stepped out. I am on the show. I am a great part of the show. I can't see them cutting me out of it because it was a lot about me.
Can't be. No one can see them cutting you out of the show because in many ways you are the show.
And
like
yes.
It's just a function of reality TV. Just calling it out and keeping it 100%. You know, they've done this before. They've tried this before. Taking out quad. There's just certain people on certain franchises. If you take them out, you lose everything the franchise stands for, and then you're left with a deflated peach to reference another program. And we'll keep it there to keep it polite.
I didn't say that you did.
I'm no
right.
I'm no Bravo
right.
commentator. I'm just calling it as a fan of reality TV. So I can't see that, but I think that would be very telling if that happens because it will be to their detriment, not yours. It's also very telling that you made the decision to possibly sacrifice a multi-million-dollar guaranteed check to run for a position that you may or may not win that will pay you considerably. There'll be no millions in Congress. It's a set salary with a whole lot of days. You're going from 12 weeks of work for multiple millions of dollars to 52 weeks of work that never ends.
It doesn't make sense with the carnal mind, right?
But right. It doesn't make sense with the carnal mind, but with the spiritual mind.
It makes total sense because God called me to do that. I don't have no choice. God gonna take care of me. I didn't even know how I was gonna put a team together, Zach. I didn't know how I was gonna do this, but I was called. Jamal Bryant actually broke the story. You know, we did his podcast and he broke the story. He was the first one to say I was running for Congress because I started out state rep. And I've been on, and God has been laying things out for me. I have a great team now. I have a campaign manager now. And I started out late. Don't get me wrong. I started out late August, right? We're still in the realms to do everything we need to do. We got the money coming in. We got a fundraiser that's great. I have a great comms director where we getting the PR out there. God is, I just say my steps are ordered, and I had no plan other than God. I mean, I have to say that 100%.
As you move in this direction, now you have made. Now, I saw. Is Quad is the campaign?
She was the campaign manager for the show. The show is entertainment. I have to let you know that.
So she's campaign manager on the show, and she's playing a part in the campaign.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's my good friend. I love Quad. Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why? Not why you love Quad, but what? Now, why Quad for a role in the campaign?
Can I be honest?
No,
with
be
you?
honest.
Absolutely honest with
you. Before you say, let me even preface and say this.
Okay, you
this is something that needs to be said, and because I talked about previously being a reality TV consumer, and I've said this on multiple podcasts in regards to reality TV. I look at it very differently. And I don't see the people, and I've actually had some people even in my comments about this, I don't see reality television personalities as anything other than the reality TV personalities. They're there as a persona. They're showing up and bringing their real selves, but they're also on a show that's being produced. And what you get is not in any way the full totality of who they are as a person. So while you may think you know Dr. Heavenly Combs, you really don't know her. And the same thing goes for Quad Webb. So going back now
you
to that.
You said all of that. I did not say that. You said
I did.
it.
That's how I see it.
A lot of people have a hard time separating the two. And I will say over and over again, I do all my jobs well. If you want some beautiful damn teeth, come to Smile by Dr. Heavenly. If you want entertainment on reality TV, damn it, come to Dr. Heavenly. And if you want a hella political congresswoman, come to Dr. Heavenly. All the people wanted somebody to tell the truth and not leave them like other politicians have. They get these offices and they disappear. They're not there for the people and listening to the people and being there for the people. And that's why I'm here. When the big, beautiful bill passed, my congresswoman was nowhere to be found. People didn't know what to do. They were losing everything. Millions, $1 trillion cut with Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP benefits. We didn't have a town hall on how
and
these people
lives will be lost, priceless.
Thousands of lives, unnecessary. Thousands of lives we lost. All this has happened. We ain't heard from our congressman. We haven't heard from him, you know? And I can say when we did hear from him, we heard from him when they voted to get Charlie Kirk a day. I don't even know who the hell Charlie Kirk was. But to get him a holiday, we hear from you for that. District 13 does not know who Charlie Kirk is. So I'm going to leave it alone as that.
And he voted yes on the bill.
Yes.
So Representative
now, just
Scott
to be
voted
clear,
yes.
I don't think anybody should die for anything that they say or their opinions. I'm going to say that and stand on that.
But this is not about him. This is about the passing of a bill.
Our people are going to die, and we haven't heard anything from our congressman. That's why I'm stepping up and stepping out.
And going back to Ms. Quad, we picked her because I want to highlight the the skill sets and the talents and the gifts that exist within these women that maybe that people don't see. So why Ms. Quad for the campaign?
Is talented beyond other. If you've seen on Sister Circle, she's a great speaker, a great orator.
That was a great show.
Yes, it was. And Quad actually, to me, if you're dealing with politics, Quad is fine. So if you want to deal with politics, the men draw the quad, right? When I went to the CBC, but neither that. But if we're on a reality TV show and I want to get footage, I'm going to make one of my best friends on the show a part of it, so we get more.
A key part of the campaign and the recognition that comes with it, and then highlighting those.
Is that not smart?
I think it's really savvy.
To do.
I do.
But now, when we in Congress, now we switch to Congress. Now we need to come up. Now this is over everything. Now we need a campaign manager that's been through Congress before, out of D.C. We need a fundraiser who's worked with Barack Obama in his own time. We need a comms person that actually's done politics before. We need somebody on the ground. We can need a plan, right? So now Quad is kind of taking herself out of it. She's still a very big part of it, but she said, hey, you know what? This is too much for me right here. So I'm going to step down and allow the other people to take over.
So you've built that team. You have these people that have worked with President Obama, people that have worked, they're right now working with you, ready to go.
Yes.
So so when you win this election, the team's ready to step into place and go.
Yes.
Fired up, ready to go.
Got it.
You know, one big thing that really has concerned me since the 2024 election, and it has been, I've never been concerned about the people that voted for President Trump over Vice President Harris. That they have never concerned me. But I have always been very concerned about the 70 million voters. No, I'm sorry, the 90 million voters. You know, I think VP got 71, Trump got like 72. Those numbers don't matter, but there were 90 million Americans who did not vote, registered voters who could have voted that did not vote. I'm continuously worried about them and worried about how to get them mobilized to care enough to vote. What are you going to do to get the disaffected voters in District 13 up and out to vote for you?
That's a very interesting question, and I have to use my resources and my intestinal fortitude to get people out. We got to do everything we can to get people out because my district will be won in the primary. So people got to know to come out May 19th. It'll already be won in November, right? So we got to push out May 19th, get all my people. And not only that, realize in the primaries, only 11% of the voting population, people that are registered to vote in the primaries, right? So now out of the 11%, out of 765,000 people in my district, now only maybe 60,000 people vote, right? So now we got to push them out. Now it may be more now because we got a gubernatorial election and a lot is on the line. But I got to tell people 100 times, get out and get out to vote. Vote early, mail in vote, do whatever you need to do. We got to get buses out there to vote, to let people know to vote. And that's how we win this thing.
And that's how you will win this race. Yeah, you know, I think that we've hit on most of the major things that I really want to hit on. When you talk about your challenger, incumbent Congressman David Scott, you know, what has been the biggest, what's the best thing this man has done in his service to this country?
Now, interesting enough, I have to give a lot of respect to him because he's been in the game for a whole lot of time. And I won't even mention, you know, a lot of people are talking about his age and things like that. I won't even mention that because that is not my concern.
Yeah, I think he's in his mid-80s. He's in his mid-80s.
My concern is that he's not been present. We cannot see him. I would like to say I'm more than a vote. I'm a voice for the people.
So it's not a matter of age. It's a matter of what you're doing at that age.
That's all I'm concerned with. We need somebody that's present, somebody that's going to be there, somebody that's going to listen to the constituents come out. I actually had a meeting with one of the constituents in my district. Her name was Miss B, about 86 years old. And she said, what are you going to do for me that other people not going to do? And I said, Miss B, what would you like me to do? She said, I just want you to be there. I want you to tell the truth and not leave us like other politicians do. When they get these seats and I vote for them, I don't see or hear from them anymore. So my commitment is that you can trust me to continuously do the town halls, which I have one coming up tomorrow. You can continuously put out education where I have a top realtor actually doing an event next week where we're teaching people how to get in homes with the homeowners and how they're doing down payment assistance and things of such. And now how I'm working with the SBA and people in the SBA field to help people get business loans. So you need that kind of education in Congress, somebody to put stuff out there. And not only that, have a federal fund that you can bring things back to the community. I was just involved in something where I was with MARTA, where they were giving out free food, with a company, I'm forgetting the name of the company, but MARTA was there. And actually they supported it. And I was talking to one of the sheriffs there. And a lot of people don't come out in the community and watch people. He said the main concern he has as a sheriff is that they're a jailhouse. They're not a hospital. They say in certain districts, a lot of mental health, it's a pandemic, an epidemic about mental health. And he said the people in my jailhouse, the only qualifications would be a GED, right? And be 18 years old. We're not equipped to handle people with medical care, right? With mental health. So if it's a pandemic, and he said that, also he said, he gave me a story. He said, when we see it's against the law to loiter and be homeless, right? So we tell somebody on the streets, hey, you cannot be here. You have to leave, right? If we see you again, we have to arrest you. He said, once we arrest you, right, you're in our custody. And certain people will say, hey, I have a stomach ache or whatever kind of ailment. My stomach hurts really bad. He said one particular man came in and said his stomach was hurt. So they have to take him to the hospital, right? Found out he had some kind of obstruction in his stomach or something. Had to have surgery, had to stay in the hospital 21 days. They had a bill of $185,000 that the county had to pay for. He said, if we could just come in and put facilities, we would save money, So I think those are the kind of things that our Congress people are not looking at and saying, hey, we need to support mental health because that'll help with crime. That'll help with a lot of different things. And not only that, dentistry. I'm going to just throw that because I'm a dentist. A lot of people don't realize how important dental health is. But I'm telling you, you just got to go talk to the people and see what's going on in their district. Because in Gwinnett County, the interesting thing might be different from Clayton County, from Rockdale County, but you got to be in all those spaces.
And because of the gerrymandering, you will literally serve all three of those counties in District 13.
It's so cut out. It's no delineation on a county. I just got a little piece of Henry. I got a little piece of Decatur, all of Rockdale, south part of Gwinnett, going on down to Clayton County, and it's I'm going to say over 50% African American, over 60% Democratic. That's why we were in that race. And it's interesting, the social economic status of it.
It's very mixed. It's all over the place.
We got some affluent people there, and we also have some people that need a lot of help.
And you would have to serve the needs of all of those constituents. People. So I always like to end on like something funny, something cute.
Okay.
And so, and thinking about how I would end this interview with Dr. Heavenly Kimes, I thought about how Andy Cohen does these little games.
Okay.
And so we're going to do a quick game. I'm going to give a name and you give me one word, but you can only give me one word.
All right. Now, you're going to mess me up with that one. Okay.
Just one word. That's all you can give. Jasmine Crockett.
Leader.
Donald Trump.
He understood his people. He
one
understood
word.
His base. He understood his base.
He did.
He's for his base.
Loyal to the base. For the MAGA. For the MAGA. 100% for the MAGA. Vice President Kamala Harris.
Amazing.
Joe Biden.
A legend.
Barack Obama.
I already used legend. Inspiring.
Mariah Huck.
I love everybody.
Nene Leakes.
A legend in reality TV, and we all look up to her. I mean, I would not be doing this. That's the only person I knew in reality TV. So yeah, a legend in reality TV.
Andy Cohen.
Andy Cohen is actually amazing. Actually, he's for the people. He's always been supportive of everything I've done and every always been kind.
Always because so, Dr. Heavenly, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Make sure you follow me. Wait a minute.
Yeah, tell the people.
Make sure you follow me. Y'all know to follow me at Dr. Heavenly for Georgia. My website is Dr. Heavenly for Georgia. We're looking for volunteers, people to give back. We're actually doing virtual watch parties, $13 for District 13 with Dr. Heavenly. Make sure y'all get on board. Go to my website, sign up, sign out. Y'all gonna see it everywhere. Make sure y'all support Dr. Heavenly in Congress. We're gonna make a change. We're gonna make a blueprint so we can take this from District 13 to outside in the state and outside to the United States of America. We got to make a change. We got to do it now, and we got to do it ourselves. We cannot wait on anyone else.
So yeah, $13. That's all you're asking for. You're asking for every single viewer to give $13 for District 13.
Yes, sir.
And so, how will those $13 be used? So because people donate, but many times they don't necessarily know what they're donating to or how costly it is to run a campaign.
Absolutely, we have a whole campaign team. I have a comms team that keeps me out to people like you and CSNBC and all the rest. We have a campaign manager that keeps up with everything. We got somebody on the ground that actually goes out and puts out the signs, I'm not giving my whole plethora of my plan, but it's a piece
that's
of
what it takes. That's the word.
It takes a lot.
You got mailers.
A congressional federal campaign, and you have to do it with grassroots dollars. You know, and I'm gonna be honest, I put my money in because I came in late, right? To let people know how serious I was. And I don't even have it like that. But I put over $250,000 in my campaign myself. I don't know if I should say that, but I did.
$250,000 is what you donated to start this out because you started in August.
I started in August. So we got to get this stuff together, put it up, put it out, and make a change for our people. We cannot give up. A lot of people are motivated. They've lost hope. They've lost all concern and saying they can't do anything. Support me. I'm telling you, we the new hope, and people like me will come along. I got my sisters coming along, and they're saying, Heavenly, we're going to put you out there first. Now, understand this, Zach. First, they will laugh at me. Then they will come at me with every damn thing they got. But when they see the momentum, then they will join me. Guys, understand the process and the pace of this already. And I'm uniquely qualified. And I've been prepared with 13 years on reality TV. What can you come up with me
13 years on TV and ready for District 13 in Congress. Everybody, I don't know what else to say, but thank you to Dr. Heavenly. And thank you for checking us out. I can't wait to see you again soon.